Hey guys, so I'm going to talk to you about what is a book sale. So, what is a book sale? The basics. Wait, you see, everyone knows what a book sale is. Yes, but what this section purposely is, maybe you don't actually. One of the things that makes the conversation about book sales so confusing is that there are several different numbers thrown around. Not often, even people in the publishing industry completely confuse them. Here are 4 numbers that are conflicted. 1. The number of copies of the book that are printed. 2. The numbers of copies that have been shipped to store or other markets like libraries. 3. The number of copies that have been sold to readers. 4. The BookScan number. These numbers can all be wildly different. It's not uncommon at all for a publisher to say, print 5,000 copies but only sell 3,000 copies to the bookstore or other markets, of which 2,000 copies are actually sold to the customers. Maybe BookScan shows 600 copies sold and we haven't even got into eBook yet. What's the actual number of books sold? Well, basically a combo of 2 or 3 plus ebook and audiobook sales. A publisher sells books to retailers like bookstores, but also to some libraries. However, retailers normally have the right to return unsold copies, so some copies that are sold will eventually be unsold. On author royalty statements, a certain amount of money is always withheld as reserved against returns. While this is basic, it's surprisingly common for authors and publishers to either intelling or untelling, or whatever the word is, confuse these numbers, brag about their sales while citing the print run, for example. On the other hand, the media almost always refers the BookScan number without any content about how wrong that number can be. How much does an author make per sale? So let's say you bought a book like, how about Unbright Beasts by Linkana Michael. How much would the author make? Authors' royalty rates vary, but the industry standard is about 8% of the cover price for paperbacks and 10% for hardcover and 50% if sales go well. Ebooks, which have pricing, are 25% of the publisher's take. Now, as an author, I'd love for those rates to be higher, but I do think it is important for authors to understand that the majority of the cover price doesn't go to the publisher. Well, over 50% of the cover price goes to the retailer that sells books to customers and the distributor who gets the book to retails. There is plenty to be said about whether the publishing model could be more effective if middlemen could be cut out, etc. But when certain corners of the writing world, such as certain self-publishing authors, scream about how publishers are ripping off authors and taking 90% of the pie for themselves. That isn't really accurate. What about self-publishing? Like non-fiction, self-published books vary so widely that they can't really be generalized. If you publish your book through an establishment press, you can most likely guarantee a certain level of professionalism and hopefully courage for the book. Self-publishing, on the other hand, contains both professional, full-time authors who spend time and money marketing their books, as well as people who just think it would be fun to put an ebook up on Amazon and never spend any money marketing. Overall, self-published books sell far less, in part because the majority of the market is still print, and it's near impossible for self-published print books to get a foothold in stores. But of course, their cut of each sale is much higher. Which sells more, hardcover, paperback, or ebook? Another surprising fact from the data I looked at is that books quite often sell the same amount in hardcover and paperback editions. If a book truly takes off, the paperback sales will increase the hardcover many times over. But for most books that are published in hardcover first, the paperback sales will be close to the same. Perhaps that's a feature of the ebook era, where readers who have the affordable option will often choose the ebook. As for ebooks themselves, the sales aren't available public anywhere, so it is impossible to say. According to a recent survey, ebooks account for about 20% of the total book market. From talking to publishers and authors, it seems ebook sales are accurate, and as a percentage of all overall sales vary widely from book to book, publisher to publisher, and genuine to genuine. To add even more confusion, ebook prices are a lot more than paperback and hardcover. It is simply hard to pin down. For most traditional published books, the percentage of sales that are ebook instead of print is somewhere between 10% and 50%.